So do you go alone most of the time
Yeah,
that you go?
most of the time I'm hunting alone, and it's rare that I go with buds, and if I go, sometimes it's with gunners,
Mhm.
who are my friends who are more into friends who hunt, um, largely gunners. And some of the bow hunting is so solitary that I enjoy describing the lay of the land and putting somebody in a position where I know they'll see deer.
Mhm.
Um, and so I have actually guided a few people, friends, on lands that I hunt and know. Um, and these guys are, really good shots, and then I put them in the right place, and they're often successful. A couple of buds that's happened with over the last 10 years, but generally I'm out there. If it can be 3-4 days a week, uh, kind of ritually watching the sunset, and I don't have to go too far. That's the other game is like, ideally I'd be riding my bike, you
Mhm.
know. And I've seen a picture of somebody actually carrying a deer, small deer, on across the handlebars.
Oh,
The
really?
handlebars. Um, but yeah, it'd be hard to carry out. But I, all the same, I'm not a pickup truck hunter either. I go out in my little Volkswagen Golf, and I've had good luck to put a pair of deer a couple times in there,
Oh, wow.
where make a good shot, and then another deer comes in very quickly, and make another good shot, and it's like, wow, that's great luck. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you stack them one on the other, and then you got some work cut out for you in terms of butchering.
Indeed.
But it's communing. It's like what is the bow hunting for me is. I've talked so much about the butchering and that. Because that's what people want to hear in some ways. Like, what's that like?
Yeah.
To stick your hands into something that's warm, and to find out where the organs are, and to see where the arrow passed through is always instructive, and yet there's something cannibalistic too, because these are your brothers too. It's
Mhm.
like you're your brothers and sisters.
The
And
viscera
you
is
get to
very
know them.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah. But bow hunting for me is about being out there and getting to know the birds and the flora and fauna. I really didn't know my trees well until I hunted,
Mhm.
and it's like, you don't necessarily know a book until you've taught it.
Yeah.
Until you have to help people find their way through it. But I've had red-tailed hawks come and sit like on a branch right above my shoulder as I've been sitting there.
Oh, jeez.
And it's fabulous. And songbirds, all kinds of chickadees and titmice, and they'll just come right in because you're still and you're part of the woods,
Mhm.
and that's a blessing to be in that place,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and as I say, I can go from school to the stand in maybe 10 minutes,
Mhm.
10, 15 minutes, out to Green Spring Valley,
Oh,
somebody's
yeah.
backyard, and get out there and be in a place where I'm walking quietly and conscientiously about how I'm moving, and trying to move slowly, which is odd. When everything else I've tried to do is, like, when am I going to get done with that so I can do the next fun thing, Have you ever been hunting?
No. That's why I'm interested in it. I think just because I've been fishing, so that's the only way I could kind of like try to understand it. And like I've cut up fish I've caught, but I haven't done that for a really long time. But never hunting. I'm from the suburbs, so
Yeah.
like suburbs of Long Island, so
Right,
there's
right.
like nowhere nearby to go.
Right. Yeah, and unless you have it in your family, or you don't necessarily get any exposure to it.
Mhm.
It really is. I mean, it's hard to kill big fish, but smaller fish you can say, well, that's, you know,
Yeah, it's
that's
like
dinner, and uh, but you know, we've kept chickens too, and that was a shock to find that having domesticated something, um, that it was really hard for me to wring the necks of these things,
yeah.
because I'd gotten to know them, and you know, mostly we were keeping them for egg laying, and
Oh,
I was
really?
protecting them, but you know, the ones that I did butcher were very hard, and I was broken up about it really for a couple days, 4
Mhm.
days, 5 days. I mean, just because I really should have probably passed the mantle, let somebody else butcher them. Gave the you know, fresh range fed meat away. Gave it away.
Oh, did you?
Couldn't eat it. Gave it to a friend.
Yeah. Jeez.
And I would chase that. I mean, like, I would rather have that meat,
Mhm.
but I haven't hardened myself to this notion that I mean, I accept that I'm a carnivore, but this is only, you know, 2 years ago we had chickens, and as I say, it was hard.
I bet.
Yeah, they weren't laying anymore. It was like, okay, it's time to eat these.
It's
chickens.
time.
And they're older, you know.
Jeez.
Of course, butchering the thing, there's a golden egg in there, and it was just getting ready to lay again, evidently.
Oh, really?
So it's like, oh, so you understand the story of the golden egg, you know? It's like you kill the goose with the golden egg, and that the thing that's been providing for you. And I'll tell you, man, it really did look golden, like
Really?
yolky golden.
Really?
Egg that was still, I mean, like in the pipeline.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
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 And so, you have a family, right? I remember I met your son.
I do,
At your family. I mean,
Melissa
Yeah.
has been, well, she's a carnivore and she enjoys the red meat.
mhm.
It took her a long time to accept the idea that this was meditative and therapeutic,
Mhm.
and not like me trying to be an Indian. Which at some levels, you know, it's nice to try to be an Indian or a native. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
to try to walk slowly and to have some knowledge. But she's, yeah, our boy Russell is 15 now, really grew up on venison, you know,
Mhm.
breast milk and venison. And yeah, so they all eat it. And they've seen me butchering in the backyard, so they're closer to the idea of the, like, where the meat comes from.
Yeah.
More accepting of that, I think.
Mhm.
And certainly than their peers. I mean, like, there's not a lot of kids
Yeah.
who are familiar with that. And I haven't pushed it on either of them to join me, which is a shame in some ways. And then on the other hand, I want them to choose it, like, if they want to do it. And you know, I've taken them fishing a lot, and I've taken them out to the hunting areas and tracking. They've been a part of that.
Tracking. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a good skill. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
neat.
cool. Cool beans.